I'd like to welcome everybody tonight and call the Board of Directors meeting to order. First off, we need to open the budget hearing for public comment. We don't see any public comment.
We don't
have any online, right?
We do not have any
And
online.
nobody signed up?
No.
All right, so we will go ahead and close the budget hearing then, since we have no comment, and we will open our general session for the Escada School Board of Directors meeting on June 11th. Let's do Pledge of Allegiance first. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks everybody for coming tonight on this beautiful June evening. We have some events going on around the school grounds, which is always awesome, and I appreciate you guys' time being here. Can we get a roll call?
Yes, Director Lohmeyer,
Present.
Director Johnston, Director Walper,
Here.
Director Martinez,
Here.
Director Berman, Vice Chair Rydell,
Here.
and Chair Wheeler.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Denise, was the meeting properly, or was the agenda properly notified?
Yes.
Excellent. Can I get a motion to move forward with the agenda as presented?
Chair Wheeler, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
We have a motion? We have a second?
Second.
We got a second? We'll give it to Rosa. You get the next one, Director Walper. Any reason to discuss on the agenda? Okay, all those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
We're going to move forward with the agenda as presented. First off, we have the Board of Directors reports. I'm going to start to my right, Director Walper.
Nothing this evening.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Usually I'm full of it, but not now.
Okay, moving right along, Director Lohmeyer.
I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen each other. I just went to the play. It was very good. The kids did a great job. It was really fun to watch. I took a couple of my boys. They enjoyed it. Watched quite a few baseball games, some track meets, middle school and high school. It's been fun. The kids have done a good job. I guess that's it. I don't really have much.
Excellent, thank you. Let's go over here to Director Martinez.
Nothing other than I'm excited for graduation ceremony this weekend. So I just want to congratulate all the seniors that are almost close to the finish line or, almost there until they officially get their certificates. I also want to thank teachers and staff who really helped these students through the finish line. So I'm sure that we're going to get some reports later today, but really excited for that.
Excellent. I think we're all pretty well excited about this week and what's to come on Saturday. Director Johnson?
I'll ditto thanks to teachers, and I was out. Thanks to teachers for helping get the kids where they need to be. I've got 2 high schoolers and 2 middle schoolers in the house, and all of them are utilizing the read day as much as they can. Especially spring sports has taken them, from on track to a little bit off track. So I'm glad that that's there for them, and they really get that intervention support. In addition to that, I've been around the grounds with the baseball, and everything looks really good. I mean, it's looking really good for graduation, and so thanks to the operations folks and the facilities folks for all the work that you do. And I'll shut up now.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Rydell.
Thank you, Chair Wheeler. We'll try not to repeat too much, but I will shout a big shout out to the teachers and staff. Again, I don't think we can do it enough, especially this time of year. This is when standards-based grading gets a little tested because we're giving students opportunities to demonstrate proficiency, which I think is really important. But that is an increased workload for the teachers at the end of the semester and certainly at the end of the year. So a huge shout out to the teachers and staff for that. Again, spring fling went great. Grounds look great. Baccalaureate is tonight, so that's going on right now, which is probably where Director Berman came from. And then the other thing I would add is the all-night senior party is Saturday night, so I will be participating in that again this year, so that's always a good time to hang out till 3 o'clock in the morning with all the graduating seniors, so That's all I have.
Excellent. First off, thanks everybody for allowing me to miss last month's meeting. I knew I left it in good hands, so appreciate the time away. Second thing is I went to a all sports school district, middle school and high school, all the heads and a lot of the assistant coaches, athletic director, athletic secretary, even Principal Rydell made an appearance there. Getting all those bodies in the same room to talk about what went good, what went bad, what we can do better, and then just cultivating the culture of Estacada academics and sports and how they go together. I was invited as the youth football president, so it's kind of cool that they're including us so we can kind of trickle down that. I know youth baseball, youth soccer, and basketball was there as well. So a lot of great people in the room and a lot of good things to come out of that. And again, just really excited for this week for the school district. And the read day is a funny thing because as you talk to people outside of our district, they ask kind of what the heck is that and how come you guys are going 4 days a week? And it's so utilized in the Wheeler House as well because, again, we spent a little time out of town and everybody's behind. Youth sports has got us behind. And without that and that teacher intervention, it's so critical. Otherwise, I think somebody might be repeating 8th grade or maybe 6th grade. I don't know. So it's really unique. It's really awesome. And I hope that other school districts maybe start implementing something of this innovative nature. So I won't go on any longer. Let's go into district reports. We have Maggie and Danny. First off.
Good evening and welcome to June. In the communications world, this week is a very fun one. We are just running around trying to get content and coverage of every single celebratory event that goes on, as well as ensure that we are just providing really high quality events like our graduation and our 8th grade promotion. These are really important times for our families and community, and we take a lot of pride in producing a high quality product. Some things that we're working on, continuing work on a quarterly mailer. As I said, graduation and end of year prep. And one thing I am particularly proud to see this year is just the proactiveness in planning for next school year and ensuring that it's a success. We're already having meetings with a lot of departments on how we can make in-service and back to school successful, how we can make first football games successful, and just really continuing the work over the summer to make sure that we continue seamlessly into next school year and start every school year stronger. We're already working on some summer projects. We put out a big newspaper edition each summer that includes back to school supply lists and events and letters from principals, so we're excited to publish that soon. And then our calendar as well. And we also have another podcast episode coming out tomorrow, which I'm excited to promote. We had a conversation with Superintendent Carpenter, high school principal Leah Rydell, and a really outstanding student that is graduating from our early college program this week. So it was a great conversation. We're excited to pilot that. We're also planning to roll out our results rollout presentation soon. Again, this is a conversation with our building leaders and our department leaders where they present the data from our fall and spring surveys and talk about the actions that they're continuing to commit to. And just a really important accountability piece as we hold ourselves accountable to what we say we're going to do with our community. So we're excited to get that presentation out soon. We had a Facebook Live event recently, a week or two ago, where we just continued the conversation around growth and capacity with Superintendent Carpenter and Teaching and Learning Director Jennifer Berman. We had really fantastic participation on that. Several thousand people viewed it, and we had close to 100 comments, so people really engaging in the process and getting more clarity around what that is going to look like. And then we launched the first meeting of our RISE committee. We had good participation. And we have another meeting coming up in a week or two, and then they will convene again in August. So we're really excited to get that group rolling and getting some great participation from our community.
And for community engagement, this, as Maggie mentioned, this is a really busy couple weeks for us, which is a delight to go around and enjoy all of the fun activities. So field day, I mean, just for example, tomorrow we have the grad walk, a field day, graduation in 2 different locations. And so we'll be running around and making sure that we can share the fun with our entire community, not just the families that get to come. I want to just say thank you to all the parents who do come and volunteer at these activities. They wouldn't be possible without those people that want to come and be engaged, and we just really appreciate them coming and taking time out of their day and getting to enjoy it. The Summer Park Series, so that's a big thing, obviously, that's coming up, our 3rd summer that we're taking part in it. We're going to make it bigger and better every year, so we really encourage the broader community to come. We enjoy seeing our families and our students and answering questions about the upcoming school year, but just being able to have outreach with all of our community members and talk to them about all the changes and the fun and the growth that we're seeing in our district. Our community mailer, like Maggie mentioned, with that we'll also be sending out invitations for all of our community events and some outreach to community members that would like to partake in any of the upcoming committees that we're going to be putting on. So just some strategic planning on how we're going to facilitate getting the invite out to everybody, make sure everybody's voices are heard, and that we can have a big group of people at the table to make these decisions that we have coming up.
Talk about our park series dates.
Oh, yes, so we locked in on, our first one will be Wednesday, January 23rd, and then we're just going to follow the next 2 Wednesdays.
June.
So-
June.
Did I
Or
say
July.
January?
July
Sorry.
23rd. Yeah.
One of those J months. We're gonna do July for the Summer Park Series. I will make sure and get invites to all of you. We would love to see you there if you can make it. And so just 3 in a row, and we're starting on July 23rd. So keep an eye out for the time.
Awesome.
Any questions?
Thank you, guys.
Could,
Go ahead. I'm not cutting them off. I just.
could you guys put it on our calendars?
Yeah, we can add it to your
Yeah.
board and personal calendars.
you.
Yeah.
Or at least mine.
Yes, please.
I like that
We'll
look.
do
do
it
it
for all
across
of
the
you.
board.
Yeah, you can all have it.
I think I'd like all the events on the calendar. It'd be
Just in case you have a night at home, you can just say, okay.
helpful. Pick and choose.
What are those?
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Get your running shoes on. Next up, we have the operations report. John Simpson, come on down.
Thank you. All right, we'll start off with nutrition services update from Lori Dyson. The CEP applications have been submitted for the district. We're just waiting on ODE approval. If approved, all students will receive a free breakfast and lunch without filling out the meal applications. So pretty excited for that. Kitchen staff this year, district-wide, have served 185,000 meals to our students. And the wellness policy assessment is in progress. Lori plans on having that completed by June 20th. Under the technology updates, we have a seasonal employee who tackled the NDF rooms, removing all the old cabling and improving efficiency. New summer Chromebook take-home system has been launched with digital agreements and resources sent out to families. And the district's also evaluating new Vocera badges. It's going to help enhance safety and communication throughout the district. Transportation, actually found some of this information very surprising, but they've completed over 380 trips this year. They served over 45 academic and athletic programs through the transportation, and their fleet drove 298,732 miles this year, transporting our students to and from school and events. They've extended we've extended our transportation fleet. We've added 3 new multi-purpose vehicles to allow type 10 drivers to help support our transportation department with smaller trips. Then facilities, my favorite, is update, is we're this month, the seismic project is on schedule. Our key focus is going to be reinforcing the roof and the floor systems, as well as strengthening the east and west walls. During the seismic, though, we did kind of have a little, we've uncovered some electrical issues that we have in the gym throughout the process, and several electrical issues. And just want to thank Director Berman. He was a lot of help, and also M2 Electrical. They donated their time. They came out. They were at every meeting we had. They explained the situation that we're having in ways that we can understand it. And best is, they're helping us kind of stay in budget and figure out a safe way to move forward as we're doing it. So I appreciate it. Very helpful. So without them, we would still probably be Googling what some of these issues are. So we had, during the seismic, during the June 4th rainstorm we had, unfortunately, the roofers didn't tarp off the roof properly, and we had 3 leaks in 3 corners of the new gym floor. And so we're working with the contractors to resolve the issue. They've accepted responsibility, and they're going to take care of it. So unfortunate, but and then finally for facilities is we were able to install a new roof over the breezeway between the commons and the back hallway. That it was becoming a safety concern because it was leaking, and then when we get cool weather, it could freeze. So we're fortunate enough with district support to get that taken care of during the last break as well. Anybody have any questions?
On the seismic upgrade, did they settled on going inside? It looks like they're covering Ranger Rick there with some a rebar grid, is that right?
Correct, yes.
So that's inside the gym on the
The east and west walls, yeah,
both walls?
yeah. And they're on July 3rd, July 3rd, they're gonna be putting Shot Creek in there, which I'm kind of, wanna watch it, see how it's done. It's pretty cool. I watched them do the test. And then the rebar, they ended up pulling the rebar off today, and they had to do different supports to the main structure. So they're working on that, and they'll get the rebar back up.
Excellent.
I don't think there was a number, but on the first slide, you talked about the Chromebooks take home for the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, second slide.
Oh.
Is there a number yet of how many or percentage of students?
We don't know yet. We'll have that by the end of the week.
Okay.
So,
Just, yeah.
but yeah, Chris is excited to kind of offer this to students and hopefully kind of keep them on track, so.
Not a question, but just a thank you. I've heard from several teachers and employees that you and your team has been super helpful here at the end of the school year, getting stuff done and getting little projects done and, little stuff that they would typically have to do on their own, and you've been really helpful with that, so I want to make sure you get recognized.
I think we have the best facilities team that I've seen in 15 years, so very proud of them. So
Yeah.
I agree, we're doing great. Thank you. I'll let
Yep.
them know.
Yes, please do.
Last thing on the Vocera thing, is that the new smart badge you got there on the table and in the picture, is that something that everybody's gonna eventually get, or what's the background on it?
Yeah, so we're piloting it. We basically got those for free, and the reason why we got this new upgraded version for free is North Clackamas School District just bought like 5,000 of them, and they bought them because they came to tour our schools and got that, and so as kind of a thank you, Vocera sent us the next upgraded model. I think they sent us 20-something just to play, and so really right now our district administrative staff and directors are kind of testing it out because it has some messaging platforms and some other things that just spruce it up a little bit, but we'll see how it goes.
Gotcha.
Referral bonus.
Yeah, awesome.
We got
Take
that.
those.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Good business.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you guys,
John.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Moving right along here, we got finance and accountability report from Tanner.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good, Tim.
We are in June, which is crazy to me because it feels like yesterday we just started. For the month of May, you guys should all have a memo in front of you that kind of helps detail things out. For the month of May, we received $3.5 million in revenues. And then on the flip side, we saw $3.55 million in expenditures. So for the year, that's $49 million for revenues and $37 million for expenditures. There's a big gap there as we head into June due to a bunch of payroll items that we're running this week and next week. So that number is going to close at the next meeting. And then, down below, that little table kind of shows the percentages of each function, that was appropriated in the previous budget. So a couple of those items are over 100%. You guys have a resolution, up for discussion later to do a budget appropriation transfer to get everything underneath our, legal spending levels, so. And at this current moment, we're looking at a 14.8 ending fund balance, which comes to about 6.4 million, right on the dot for our budget next year. There can be a little bit of wiggling as we close out the end of June, so don't be surprised if it comes in a little bit over, a little bit under. But we're on track for what we budgeted for next year. Then going to capital projects, we haven't seen a lot of we just received our third quarter CET, the construction excise tax. We have not seen very much of that come in. Year to date, we're looking at just under $20,000. And originally it was budgeted at $250,000. So, I'm not sure if that's just because of the season that it was in, and we might see a big chunk come in, for the final quarter, but, so far this year, we've only seen 20,000 of that come in. However, we're still projecting a $750,000 ending fund balance for the capital construction one fund. That's our general fund, funded. Overall, including the seismic rehabilitation, we're looking at just over $3 million in our ending fund. So we're in good shape there. We also received a seismic rehabilitation grant for $2.5 million. That's not accounted for in the budget, so that'll be something that has to be worked through next fiscal year. Enrollment, overall, for the Estacada School District, from last month, we see about a 4 student decrease, but a 41 student increase from last year. So we're still, as we fluctuate month to month, we are still seeing a nice, steady growth throughout the year. And then Summit, they've seen a 6 student increase from last month and a 100 student increase from last year. So all in all, the district is growing. And then we have received approximately $2.1 million in revenue from the state school fund for Summit Learning. We were able to reconcile back to February for some of the overpayments, and that's helped in the end get us to that $2 million mark that we like to see. That's it for the slides. A couple of quick hitters. We have finished our interim audit with Clear Trail CPAs. We just got the exit memo back. We have knocked our single audit findings down to 0 and our comments down to 5 from 9. And we have an exit conference with them tomorrow, and then we'll bring up a couple of questions because there's a couple of comments that we can possibly get removed due to some explanations.
That is something to be very proud of.
Thank you. Yes, and we got it done in 1/3 of the time. So it started in April of last year and ended in August. This one started late April of this year and ended yesterday. So we got it done much quicker than previously. We've also been reconciling and cleaning up the books to become compliant with state law and to ensure a smooth transition to next fiscal year with the new leadership. And with that being said, I want to thank everyone here for I'm going to get emotional, for the last 12 months. This has been the best place I've ever worked. I would do it all again. Even with the 2-hour drive, I would do it all again. Thank you all so much. I cannot express it enough.
Awesome. Thanks, Tanner.
Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Tanner, can I ask a quick question about the audit?
Mm-hmm.
During the process, was Clear Trail CPA able to provide you or Superintendent Carpenter guidance on, I know that they have findings and they have suggestions and recommendations, but is there a clear line of actions that could be taken in future to make sure that we continue our good pace of financial audits.
Yeah, they gave us, go ahead.
Yeah, they throughout the process of the audit, they give us feedback on what we can do to help mitigate those findings. Typically for the interim audit, it's less of the guidance and more of the making sure all the systems are working.
Sure.
So we'll have more feedback tomorrow after our exit conference. But I will say that the back and forth with the auditors is a lot different this go around, as they don't have any findings.
Sure.
But they've done a good job. Their team is wonderful to work with, and they're knowledgeable with what they do. So
Thanks and congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one question on the construction excise tax.
Yes.
So you said Q3, that reflects our Q3?
Yes.
Okay. That's weird it's so low.
I agree. I will contact the city to see what's going on there. I'm sure it's in the mail.
Yeah, it's probably,
Yeah, they're collecting interest off of it.
Yeah.
okay. Thanks, Tanner, appreciate it.
Thanks, Tanner.
Moving along to the next thing, item E, superintendent's report.
Well, and I would like to also just formally thank Tanner. You know, he came into a very big transition situation with some novice skills in terms of what we asked him to do, and he really stepped up with a great attitude and just was willing to take it on in so many ways. And I don't think it was an accident, but he's actually leaving this place better than when he found it. And I think that there's something special to be taken for that. And so we, the district, wish him the best of luck in Houston, Texas, as he raises a brand-new family closer to his parents, and we're just thankful for his service as well. So great job. Superintendent report is going to be a fun one today, as we have been, all systems have been going 100,000 miles an hour. And I would say first, the good news is nothing has broken in terms of the gears and mechanisms, as we've been running this hot for quite some time now. And I'm just so thankful of our leadership and our employees who are really landing the plane in the way that we had drawn up and designed at the beginning of the year when we started. And so I'm just very proud of that. I do want to recognize a couple quick wins, and as you see here on the screen, and for the public to see as well, as of Monday, our communications department was just nationally recognized with 2 major awards that were extremely competitive. And the first, if you look in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a YouTube video of a typical week at EMS. If you'll remember, at the beginning of the year, there was some parent frustration and some struggles over the brand-new master bell schedule, rotating class periods, all of the above. And we saw early through that process that we, the school district, needed to do a better job of clearly and simply communicating what we were trying to accomplish. And so we put together really a 4-video series, I believe, maybe 3 video series to really just work with parents on what this new process was to look like. We submitted that series to the National Public Relations Association, and that series won the #1 video communication of the year nationally. And so that's just absolutely fantastic. And on top of that, as you all know, each quarter we send an Inside Estacada Schools magazine to every citizen, registered citizen inside our 750 square mile school district, just to do a better job of telling our story and keeping our community informed. Hoping someday that it will turn into more community support for its local school district with the knowledge of what's going on. And that magazine also won the publication of the year nationwide for the National Schools Public Relations Association. So I just want to commend Maggie Kelly, Josh Gray, our videos playing the keys back there, and also to Danny Randall, our community liaison. All 3 of them are truly nationally leading. Little Estacada has a nationally leading communications department, and this is just more example of the national recognition that we're receiving at that school's level. And so I'm just so proud of them and so proud of us for, again, being a banner ribbon school district when it comes to communication. So great job.
I got a question for you on that.
Fire away.
How come we don't see any of that in the Oregon news?
Yeah.
You know, we get this thing almost every day on email, and the first thing I do is I look at Oregon, and then I drop down to Portland, and we're never. This should be front and center.
Yes, well, we agree with you on
Well,
that.
thank you.
And it's not from a lack of trying. I believe you're talking about the school board
Yeah.
one that you get every single day. So our problem with not making that news ticker every single time is that that program only pulls from local newspapers, and the Estacada News, which is already struggling, I think, to have one publication a week. They put our local stuff in there when they do, and OSBA only pulls from that when it makes our local headlines. And we work very hard to try to make the Oregonian, Fox News even, in other areas of the local news channels. And sometimes they say, yep, we're willing to check it out, but most times they're like, this isn't, we're into the stuff that
I
gets
wonder if we're
clicks.
embarrassing them.
Well, then there's a little bit of that
A little
too.
jealousy.
There's no doubt about that. You said that, not me, but I agree with Director
Let me
Walter.
say it a little louder.
Yeah. Yep, there's a little bit of that as well as we continue to just blow ahead in some of the just innovative, non-traditional ways that schools communicate. And I would say that there's sometimes a lack of enthusiasm about watching us do that from other folks. Sure, at least I've been told that. Okay, so that's that. Great job, and hopefully I answered that question correctly, so our communications department doesn't have to do more work after the conclusion of this school board meeting. I also want to just recognize that the school board, voted unanimously last month in what I thought was a very bold and innovative as well as brave vote to reconfigure our schools for the 26-27 school year. Just to recap, that means that 2 years from now, we'll be moving 7th and 8th grade to a dedicated wing at Estacada High School with separate bell schedules and separate supervision. We'll also be converting Estacada Middle School, as we know it today, into a 5th and 6th grade only school. Clackamas River will be a 3rd and 4th grade only school, and River Mill Elementary will be a kindergarten through 2nd grade school. That was a major and monumental and historical decision made by this group of executive board of directors, but that one decision now opens up 55,000 more decisions. And so, of course, I'm sure the executive board of directors, while working in the community and being visible in the community, as well as their superintendent, in any grocery store aisle I'm at right now, there's a lot of opinions about what we should do. And some of those opinions and ideas are excellent, and we love all of them, and we encourage the community to continue to speak to us, but some of them are so granular that we're just not even there yet in terms of the specificities of what things will look like. And so while this decision was made, I wanted to do a good job in transparent communication to both the board, internal employees, as well as external parents and community members about the timeline of how we're going to arrive at some of these big final decisions. And so the board, obviously these letters are strong, and the board will have their own copy here soon once we have a true final draft. And I'm not going to go through every single one, although the ones that I display here are the major decisions that we need to arrive at and make and communicate and work through, because all of them are controversial, dependent upon the group. And so I just wanted to share with the board that visually we wanted to keep it simple, but this is June today through June of next year. So this is the next 12 months of timeline in terms of when we plan to roll out some of these major decisions in order to make it work effectively. I do just want to point out that this month, probably in the next week or sooner, we plan to designate which building administrator will be leading which building. Now, I just want to preface this by it's not going to be a complete overhaul or turnaround, but at the same time, we want to be mindful and we want to make sure we're collecting the voice of our administrators in order to put the people in the right spots that make the most sense for us as an organization. We've been told, the reason why we're making this decision this week, ultimately, is because we got voice and feedback from our employees that they don't want to think about or say where they want to go until they know who their principal is going to be. And so we wanted to establish that soon, so they had the summer to think about it, so then they can, when we collect their voice of where they'd like to go, they at least know the pieces that are in place and installed, so that they can make their best informed decision through that process as well. During the summertime is when we're going to begin what I would like to consider, even though they won't be super small, but small construction projects at Estacada High School in order to prepare for that reconfiguration. And really, it's a domino effect when you think about construction when we're doing this project, because one thing has to happen before the next and so on. And I'm going to use a real example. So it's our intention to turn what's currently the art room at Estacada High School into the new main office. And so that will allow us to effectively separate 7th and 8th graders from 9th through 12th graders and be able to support all of it with a central hub of administrators and secretaries. But in order to make the construction of that happen, we need to move our art program right now. And so effectively on July 2nd, what we know is the culinary arts room or the home economics room for people who graduated sub 2000 or people a part of the art program, we're going to be cleaning out the old 1960s home economics room and we're going to turn that into the new art classroom. And that project must get done this summer so that when we start the school year next year, art is being served in its new location, ultimately making the current art room vacant so we can begin construction on the main office during the school year. As soon as we're completed with the main office project, we also need to reconfigure Estacada High School's library to serve and support a middle school commons. The high school commons is going to remain the commons for 9th through 12th graders. That is their place. We want them to have a culture and an identity and to do the things they normally do in there. But that also means we need to find a large enough space in this school to be able to put about 250, 300 7th and 8th graders. And so the library is going to be our best location for that. Now, I need to preface, otherwise Jennifer Berman will be very angry at me tomorrow. The library at the high school will still remain the library. The books that are on the exterior inside of that, most of which haven't been checked out since 1970, but they're there, and that's what constitutes a library. And I need to just be clear about that. Just from a public standpoint, we love our libraries. However, we also need to turn that into the space where the 7th and 8th graders can congregate before, during, and after school, as well as eat breakfast and some other things, so we can do our best part to keep that separate. So those are the three things that are going to happen in domino fashion. But the other thing is the place where the executive board of directors are sitting now, our current boardroom, is going to be reconfigured into 3 classrooms in order to facilitate this whole reconfiguration process. And so that will also begin sometime mid-year, because this project needs to be done before August of next August, if that makes sense. And so summer is really where this work is going to get done. In September and October is when we'll begin our committee work for some of the more granular decisions. We also intend to assign our secretaries to the buildings during that time as well. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but there's one thing I do want on the board's radar, because we can't do anything regarding this without board approval. But in November, December timeframe, we're going to be renaming Estacada Middle School as it is today, because it's no longer a middle school. And so I'd like to engage our community. I think this decision remains solely in the hands of our community. And so we'll start to collect that feedback. But in November or December is when I plan to bring you the recommendation of what that new name is, whatever it is. And so I just wanted to put that on your radar. In February, the month of February, is when we will tell our certified classroom teachers what building they will be going to, not what classroom, but what building. And then in the following month, March, is when we'll begin to assign teachers their classrooms, like which specific one they'll be teaching in next year. We'll also be assigning our specialists, that's case managers, physical therapists, speech language pathologists, et cetera. We'll get their designation in March in alignment with the contract. And then in April is when one of the big ones that keeps coming up to me is like, what's the playground, the new playground gonna look like at the 5th and 6th grade middle school? We agree that kids of all ages, including me, need recess at some point to be able to do the things that we do, but at the same time, we do need to be mindful because we are on a very, very tight budget in order to pull this off. And a brand new playground is $250,000, which we don't have in order to pull this off. And so we will start putting a committee of people together to determine maybe 2 or 3 pieces of something that is age appropriate for these kids to, you know, giggle on and run around on and the things that they do at recess. But at the same time, that's not until an April decision. And so I just wanted to clearly say that because some of these specific things, like we're not even going to touch until April. And I just want to be clear about that process as well. And then the master schedule and things like that come into place. John Simpson, who was here during the month of February, will start to roll out what the moving process is going to look like for 100 people who are going to be relocating to a different spot. I'm just roughly guessing that. And so then when June comes and our teachers and our employees depart for the end of the school year, then the mechanism takes over and we can move the stuff for them in a way that when they arrive at the next school year, they'll be ready to go to lead high expectations of great service and teaching and learning. And so I just wanted to share that. I'll pause in case there's any questions on this, and then I'm going to show you in a very faster fashion how we're going to get to some of those things.
Not a question, but I appreciate laying this out because I think there are a lot of questions, as you said. I've
Yep.
had a lot of conversations in the grocery store lately.
Yes.
And so I think this is really important because it doesn't make sense to have some of these conversations
Yeah.
now because there's a lot of dominoes that fall. So
Yep.
I appreciate that, and I think that's a strong message to continue to get out there. And we
Yep.
love the feedback. We're just not having that conversation right now.
We're just not there
So,
yet.
well,
Yep.
But stay tuned, and we'll give you an
Yep,
opportunity
we'll
to
get there.
input.
And I do hope that people can see visually that there is a plan,
Yep.
and there's a plan for the thing they're most concerned about, and they'll know exactly when the district is going to address that. And the number one thing I'm receiving from parents is the convenience of parent pickup and what that looks like. And that's going to be something that comes, I believe, in May. And so folks that have strong opinions on that and the logistics, like once we figure out schools where people are at, what the bus routes are gonna be, then we'll start to figure out the way that we can conveniently allow parents to pick up kids at multiple schools.
Is there any way we can incentivize riding the bus?
I actually don't know if I think we almost need to discourage at this point people from riding the bus. And the only reason why I say that is because of the new neighborhoods that are coming in. And one of the things with this reconfiguration is we follow the federal guidance that anyone who lives inside 1 square mile of an elementary school has to walk. And everyone who lives a 1.5 mile radius of the secondary schools have to walk. The one con with this reconfiguration is if a kid lives in, we'll call it the Timber Ridge or the Cascadia Ridge neighborhood, they used to walk to River Mill, but if they're a 4th grader, they now go to Clackamas River. And so we're almost going to have to reconfigure who walks and who doesn't walk in order to make sure we're picking up all kids within that radius of that. Because it just doesn't make sense, at least right now to me, that we make, if there's a 1st grader in that house and a 4th grader in that house and a 11th grader in that house, that, you know, we pick up 1, but 2 have to walk kind of a thing. It doesn't logistically work. And so I think that our in-town bus routes are going to be slammed. Yep. And we'll work through that in May of next year. But those are just things that are already on our mind and they're on everybody's minds, but we just can't get there until May, until other decisions are made through that process.
Okay.
One thing I do want to say, because this is a frequent one that comes up on social media, and I just am getting hit with it all the time too, is, when we talk about the parent pickup logistics, I'm hearing a lot about the inconvenience of having to pick up students potentially at multiple schools. And there are so many school districts across America that run this model that we're moving to. In Oregon, Tillamook is an example, North Marion is an example. But the one advantage that we have about this configuration and the proximity of our schools is every school is literally next door to each other. If you went to Tillamook, you'd be picking one kid up at Sylvester Street and then driving 2.5 or 5 miles to pick up another kid at another spot. And so even though I understand parent convenience and it's a driver when it comes to that, and we'll work our butt off to make sure we accommodate to the best of our ability, but we are in a great advantage that everything is right here. And so we'll work hard to work through that process. But that's one that seems to come with some veracity at me. And then here's just, I'm just going to be quick. Obviously, I shared with you the major decisions, but obviously there's a ton of work that goes in behind the scenes of arriving at those decisions. And so we've also mapped out when the committees will be working and how we're going to process each committee before we make the decision in that. And I'm just going to give only one example, and that is if you look at the top row, December and January, we're going to spend 2 months collecting teacher voice and saying, what's your first choice, what's your second choice, what's your third choice, do you have the licensing to do any of these choices? And then we'll take those 2 months to really, and at the end of the day, the building principals get to make the final decision as they always have and do, but we want to make sure that we're putting people in places that they have a desire to go and try to prioritize that. But I just wanted to communicate, there's 2 months of work that goes into that before the February decision. That's just in the background, collecting voice and doing that work. So, and then at the bottom row there, I just put the point people who are in charge in terms of the swim lane of some of these big decisions, because another thing we're already encountering, and I'll include the board in this too, and let's use the playground as an example. Someone is going up to our building principal asking about the playground. They're going to the teacher asking about the playground. They're coming to me or emailing me about the playground, and they're going to Vice Chair Rydell in the ice cream aisle about the playground. And it's just to our best interest, so we're not giving 5 different answers to that one question, for all of us to say, hey, go talk to Jennifer Berman about the playground. She's the one leading that process. And so I really just want to be able to put people who are the sole experts and are leading the committee work, the collecting the voice, so that we can continue to control the mechanism of how we roll these things out. Other questions?
Have you got a feel for, I don't live in the world of education, so I don't know this. If I'm a fourth grade,
but you lead it as the chair.
play well on TV. A fourth grade teacher, just pulling a random teacher. Do they generally feel more passionate about teaching fourth grade, or do they feel more passionate about being at River Mill or Clackamas River?
Yeah, yes to all of them. Each person has their own unique and specific desire. Some want to stay in the 5th grade because that's what they've taught for 20 years, and they've got the curriculum, they've got it down, they feel great. Some want to go wherever the current principal is. That's who they want to work with and for. Some people love their PLC team, and so they want to stick with them as they go. Some people are just put me wherever, I'm all in, and that's great too. But that's going to be the real challenge of working through this. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Besides the 4th grade, I'd say the specials at K-5 are the ones that have the split, right? You have the music that do all K-5, gym. Sorry, PE.
Yep.
That seems like they have some, those people need to have some conversations about where they're going. I'm sure that Jennifer Berman's going to be working with them on deciding the best place for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that, because this reconfiguration actually solves some problems that we have now. And I'll just use an example. Robert Franks, who's a great PE teacher at River Mill Elementary School right now, is serving 530 kids. while, Brian Jark, an awesome hire for us, PE teacher at Clackamas River, is serving 410. And so we have a problem where next year we're probably going to have to take a little bit of time of Brian Jark and move him to River Mill just to accommodate the 536 kids, but we're short a gym. And so how do we do that? But so by actually balancing out the population will actually make their populations, and I know you're talking about locations.
Yeah.
But just balance, this is a great time for me to talk about balancing that out will actually make their caseload more manageable in terms of that.
That's great.
Yep.
Thanks, Ryan.
You know what I like about this? You're getting the people involved that are having to do it,
Yes,
not necessarily just telling them this is what's gonna happen.
yes.
You know, you get so much more respect when you get the people that are doing it
Yeah.
involved in it.
Yep, I appreciate you saying that, and again, this isn't successful unless there's co-ownership at all levels of our organization to be able to execute this big move, and if it were just me being the sole decision maker on all of these things, I think that's a recipe for second guessing, disaster, and a lack of ownership in what we're trying to accomplish. So that's also why it's going to take us 14 months to just work slowly, methodically, and on task through this process. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions before I move on? Okay. So moving on, I'm excited to share with the Executive Board of Directors that on Monday, we achieved a tentative agreement with the Estacada Education Association, which represents our certified members, employees, that's classroom teachers, special education experts, etc. This was a really tremendous experience for both, on both sides of the aisle. I will tell you, in my 6 years, or 6 times of negotiating contracts on behalf of the district, this was by far the most healthy, the most productive, and the most I guess, beneficial to all sides. And again, I just want to praise the Executive Board of Directors for their fiscal responsibility and conservatism, which allowed us to be able to really make a compensation package that's competitive. And that can allow us to continue to keep our great employees, as well as to continue to try our best to steal other employees that we see are talented as well. So just the highlights, and at some point I'll have the opportunity in executive session to really break down the details of the contract prior to your approval and ratification. But what we have agreed upon is a 4-year deal, which is unprecedented in the world of negotiations, and I want to thank the EEA for their support in working with us on this. This should get us through the next 2 bienniums without having to go back to the table together to really talk about compensation. This is a great thing, though, because it allows us to just focus on executing the contract and teaching our kids, and then we'll come back again 4 years from now. This includes a 20% cost of living increase to all certified members over 4 years, with a 5% COLA each year for every 4 years. It also includes a 3% health insurance increase each year of all of those 4 years. And it allows, one of the things that the EEA wanted to make, very clear from the voices of their members was somehow finding a way to recognize longevity of people who have served 10 or more years in our school district. And so we've installed a longevity stipend just to thank the people who have invested really a good portion of their professional career here in Estacada schools. We've provided 90 additional minutes of prep time on those Fridays, read days, which doesn't impact students, nor does it impact our PLCs, nor does it impact us financially. We also increased the case manager stipend as our special education caseloads continue to grow and the funding from the state for special education does not. And so that means that there's going to be increased caseloads for our case managers, and we're recognizing that in their time with those stipends. And we also updated classroom safety language to modernize it, to make sure we're protecting our employees in today's public education world, while also preserving the district's full right and authority to make sure kids get the opportunities and the people that they need to support them. I put Oregon City, Canby, and Sandy down there because while those are communities slightly or considerably bigger than us, this pay scale will be similar to or equal to those three specific school districts. And one of the things that this isn't a great administrative or side for me to say, but even though Oregon City, North Clackamas, Portland Public are considerably bigger than us, they're still teaching a classroom of 30, we're still teaching a classroom of 30. And so we really do want to try to put ourselves in the same market as everyone else who's teaching, the same class size when you bring it down to scale. And so I'm very proud about this opportunity to offer this. This will allow us to retain and steal people from other school districts because we have a competitive compensation package. I did not include, nor did we compare ourselves to school districts who also receive a levy to offset some of those costs. A levy is when a community votes to pay people more money in addition to the regular tax, and that would be Lake Oswego, North Clackamas, Westland, Wilsonville. We cannot compete with that because our community would never probably support that threshold of additional tax dollars to go to additional compensation for people. And so they're not even on our map in terms of our comparables. And I just wanted to communicate that a little bit. And then lastly, this is the final piece, and that's just the ceremonies, and I'm not going to go through every one, but I'm excited for our board to be at high school graduation. I just want to remind everyone that the Executive Board of Directors, it's been a fun tradition. Maybe it's our third or fourth year of doing this, but the board purchases lunch for the seniors right after they finish their graduation practice, and that's been a really neat deal. And then afterwards, we've got the big firework extravaganza, which has always been a popular thing. And what a great way for the school district to have one final celebration that the whole community can enjoy to celebrate the raising, educating, and graduation of its children. And so I look forward to that. And I've been saying this anytime I've been speaking publicly, which has been a lot in the last week or so, but I do just want to encourage our neighbors to put their dogs inside their houses during the fireworks show, and I'm doing this ultimately to mitigate my emails on the next day. That is your superintendent's report.
Question on the contract?
Yep.
The stipend, it's a 10-year, is that just a benchmark and then it's a one and done, or is it every year thereafter they get a?
So the stipend is really based on step 1, column 1, so the upper left-hand corner. And so they'll receive, I can't remember what the percentage portion of that is each year, but it's still stuck on that. So I make what I make, I'll say $70,000, I'm just picking an average number. I make $70,000, but if I've been here for 10 years, then I'll get a percentage of that step 1, column 1, which I'll say for rough math is $1,200 extra. But next year, I still get that step 1, column 1, but as the COLAs grow, so does that step 1, column 1. So I might get $1,300 or $1,400 the year after that.
So it's something they get year after year as long as they stick around.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I have one thing that I skipped over. I need to ask both Superintendent Carpenter and Tanner. Is there anything not discussed or shown in the financial reports we need to be aware of?
No.
Thank you. All right, with that, let's move into reports and presentations. We have a group of FFA members here. First up, it looks like you are without the fearless leader, but I suppose one of you guys or all of you guys can fill in just dandy.
Let's go.
And be the lead. A lot of familiar faces. You guys can introduce yourselves.
I'm Nicole. I'm just going to jump right into it. At district convention, 7 students attended. Emery did demonstration speech and placed second. And our freshman took the FFA info quiz and the FFA knowledge test and placed second. Why is it doing that? National FFA Week. We celebrated it in February. We hid small rubber pigs around the school and for all the students to find. And if they found one, they could turn it in and win a prize. We also had a pizza party. And state convention. 8 students attended, and Emory competed in agri-science. And I competed in the art show and got second. We also attended workshops and the meeting sessions, and we had a lot of fun.
I'm Olivia, and this is a picture from our district floral contest. We hosted this in the ag room, or Miss Willie's room. We had about 35 students from our district attend, and our team placed first. And then this year, mid-April, we had our annual plant sale, and we raised over $4,000. We had an Easter egg hunt and photos with Bernard as well. And our leftover veggies we donated to AgFest to give out to the community. And then this is AgFest. We helped in a multitude of ways at the AgFest. We set up the booths inside. We had students leading elementary field trip activities, and we donated plants to hand out. The AgFest committee donated over $2,000 to our program, and we're very thankful for them and excited to help them next year.
I'm Callie, and we competed in the livestock judging contest. 6 members competed, and our advanced team placed 11th overall. This was their first contest in that division. We're excited to travel more and get ready for state. Tractor driving. This was hosted at the Clackamas County Fairgrounds, and it was over May break, and Caleb placed 9th overall. All of Miss Willie's classes have done so many projects this year and taken so many trips. These are some highlights.
Summer activities. We did livestock judging, community service, summer meetings for members to attending fair, town 4th of July parade, Clackamas County Fair, and Oregon State Fair. And we had 8 participate last summer, and we have 16 this summer. Glance at next year. These will be Miss Willie's classes for next year. She has seen a lot of growth this year and is excited. She's also working with the LBCC on college credits for some of her classes. Is that it?
I think that's it. There's also an FFA meeting tomorrow, if anyone wants to attend.
At 6:30?
6:30, yeah.
Thank you.
Can you guys scroll back to the slides a little bit? To the, is it the state convention? Right there. Everybody needs to look at that. The middle upper picture that Nicole did. It was awesome. It's of Faith Hill, and it's spot on.
Like the singer Faith Hill?
Yeah. You did awesome.
You don't have to be embarrassed for being amazing.
Yeah.
Also, I bought your guys' veggies, and they looked beautiful when I bought them. They were the best looking veggies I got from anywhere, and they're still alive, so. Good
I'll
job.
second that. The plants I
They
bought
looked so good.
did great.
Yeah.
The flowers were ahead at home, so there's no doubt about that.
It's
Great
really
job.
good job.
Thank
Keep it
you.
up.
Great job.
How
Thank
many of
you.
you guys are going to fair? What are you guys doing? What are you showing?
Rabbits.
Rabbits and my little chicken.
Nice.
Velvet time? Or a different one?
Excellent.
Nice.
All right.
Love it.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thanks, guys.
Next up, we have Athletic Director Andy Mott for spring sports and activities.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for having me, everyone. I'm excited to share. There's a lot of slides, I'm not going to lie. And kudos to Jenny for helping put this together. And obviously, it was a great spring, busy spring. We've had more sports and activities, I think, this spring than we've ever had in the history of our school. But it really was a great year. A lot of that, big kudos to you guys as well. I know one of our big projects was our fields and our baseball and softball fields. And I think we literally had one game that we had to, change, which is unprecedented. Typically this time of year, with weather and things, we have to reschedule and change a lot of things, but the use and, the amount of time, there's been teams on those fields since March, and it'll be all the way through the summer too, so. Lots of great things to share with you guys today, and we're just gonna get rolling, so. Do you want me just to click it? Is that, okay, sweet. So these slides, we did a spring activities assembly here about a week ago, recognizing all of our spring sports and sending off our track team to stay at the same assembly. And so I'm gonna go through these slides and just so you guys can take a look, and I probably won't read every word for word, but basically recognize all of our teams at this assembly and make sure that the kids get recognition for the things that they did. Our unified kickball was our first team that had a tournament here on our fields. I think it was not last weekend, 2 weekends ago. EHS girls tennis team, good numbers of girls out this year. As you can see, our numbers have really grown with our tennis program. Similar with our boys team as well, competing as in our district. We also host districts for tennis, which is a big event that happens in the spring as well. Track season, great track season. I think we had a record number of kids with over 80 that were out for track this year at the high school. Great district meet. We sent 7 kids to state that are really successful. I have there. You can see there in the pink that was taken down at state, but you can see there that we had multiple kids that made it to state, and then we had, I think, 5 placed. So we had our triple jumper, North Shocker. I think we have, it's here we go. So Sam and Paul both were district champions in the shot put and the discus. So those 2 guys went on to state. They just missed placing. We had 2 girls that qualified in the triple jump, Maggie Garrett and Nora Shocker. And then Nora was actually 7th place at state, so got on the podium down there in Eugene. Denise Hicks was a league champion in the 100-meter dash in districts, and then went on to state and was 7th place, so got on the podium as well, which was really cool. Dom DeFrancisco was also our he actually made it into state with a wild card qualifying number. Our district had one of the fastest groups, but he ended up placing 4th at state, running a sub 1100, which is insanely fast for our level. So great job to him. And then very own Abby Berman, she was shot put and discus champion at the district meet, an athlete, our female athlete of the meet, but even more awesome, she was a state champion and represented us really well. So 2-time discus state champion and shot put state champion this year. So it was an awesome job down there, and awesome state meet for her. Our Estacada middle school team also had a successful season with over 60 kids that were out for track. And so that was great. It's a wild afternoon out there when you got the 80 high schoolers, 60 middle school, and then Damascus uses our track. So it's a hopping place out there if you head out there on a spring afternoon, and then mix in a baseball game, and it's quite
With
the
foul balls.
yeah,
Very entertaining time.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So great stuff though with that. Our softball team made it to the play-in game. Very young team here that competed well in our league. Had a winning season, some all-league honors for some of our kids. Mackenzie Trekkie is only a sophomore. She's a first-team catcher. Also a first-team pitcher, one of our sophomores, Lainey Briones. Emily Yost was a first-team infielder, another underclassman. Honorable mention, Jency Hunter. And second-team infielder, Chloe Cooper for our softball. Baseball season, first winning season in 6 years. For the baseball team, we had some all-league honors for these guys as well. Second team outfielder Blake Barger, honorable mention catcher Dane Carpenter, first team outfielder Connor Abbott, second team infielder Will Olson, second team utility hitter Lincoln Bunyard, and Connor Abbott was actually voted second team All-State for outfielder. So it was a cool honor for him. He's playing an all-star game this weekend as well. Boys and girls golf had another good year. Golf team, good numbers. First year we've had a full girls team, so we had 5 girls that participated this year, and so that was cool. And I got to go actually Coach Gunlock was having a baby. He wasn't having his wife was having a baby. But
Thank you for
so I gotta go.
clarifying
I gotta drive one of the new minibuses, which was awesome. They actually are pretty sweet. So I gotta go help out at districts there in Prineville. So it was fun to go see the kids. They really, you could see they really enjoy it. So that was a good experience. Our flag team, last year we were, around 8 or 9 girls, and we had over 28 this year. And so, yeah, it's amazing to see how fast that sport is growing, across the state, to be honest. Really picking up a lot of steam with flag football. And similar to that, our boys volleyball. So our second season with boys volleyball, we played in kind of a 5A league with LaSalle and Park Rose, and then these guys went on to our state tournament, beat Phoenix and Malala, and then had a pretty wild game with Crook County in the state championship. So we're down. They call it the reverse sweep. So you're down 2 games to nothing, kind of on you lose 1, you're done, and we won 3 in a row to win the state. So it's pretty cool. Really neat moment to go watch that, and I'm proud of that for that. OSET, great season for our OSET program. They competed at state in Redmond. I'm not going to read everybody on there, but you can see we had lots of kids that placed and qualified for state. I have some good pictures here of the team as well with their placings. 5th out of 17 at Redmond State. We also had 2 gals that broke our district record that qualified for state, so Maisie and Ava in cattle sorting. And we also got the sportsmanship award for that, which is cool. I think you guys saw that. There's a few more pictures. I think the same writing's on there, but a few more pictures from their district and state meets. All-State Honor Choir. You can see all the kids there: Nathan, Logan, Juven, Henry, Camilla, Tayson, Jose, and James. And then All-State Honor Band, Townsend and Emily. Those programs. Also our state contest, so Henry Rydell was 3rd place. Baritone voice, Nathan Dodd, 9th place in bass voice. Emma Stallcup, 13th. Piper Coy and Henry Rydell placed as well in their events. And there's a picture of our concert choir team, so Tri-Valley League champions, and then 4th place at state. And our jazz band was also Tri-Valley League champions, and 4th place at state as well. Picture of them up there with Mr. Frunk. And some art, so it's cool to kind of be able to share some of these things, some amazing artwork from some of our students. And so this was at the ESD Regional Student Art Show. So you can see some different art as we go through. I'll give you guys just a couple seconds to check those out. Couple of the drawings that placed at the event. And then this one was an overall winner, and looks like it's going to be hanging in Washington, D.C. So this is Ren Su, who did this painting. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Janice Packard, our art teacher, does a great job with these kids, and it's really neat to see their work. Performing arts. So following students have qualified and will compete in internationals. So Juven Gwen and Angel Gonzalez for their short film. And then Vincent, Pat, and Skylar with some solo acting will be competing as well. And we had the opportunity as well at the conclusion of our spring sports and activities assembly we do our signing day, and it's pretty cool. A lot of schools, I think every school does a signing day. Most schools kind of do it I call it low key, after school, or they sign in the library with their parents, but we've kind of made it a point to really do it in front of the whole school. And so we had all of our kids at tables, and we're able to recognize them, in front of their peers and give them a slide. And so these are our seniors that are going on to college to either do arts, music, or athletics, and represent the Rangers. So Lily Horn's going to the Pacific Northwest College of Art on a scholarship. Dylan Park is going to be singing for George Fox University. Chloe Cooper is going to be playing volleyball at Shoreline Community College. Irvin Hernandez is going to be playing soccer at Clark Community College. Dominic DeFrancisco is going to College of the Redwoods to play football. Noah Hughes is going to Southwest Oregon Community College to wrestle. And Chloe Betts is going to Pacific Lutheran to play basketball. Oh, and Will Olson is going to be playing baseball at Minnesota North College. And Abby Berman going to Idaho State for track and field. And Karina Richards, Boise State University for soccer. So really cool to be able to recognize these kids, and be able to wish them luck as they head on to state. I'm not going to read every one of these, but this is fresh off the press. We just added these things. We just had our senior awards assembly, and a lot of you are probably familiar with that. And we have a list of athletic awards that we give out at this assembly to recognize some of our kids. So these will also be on social media if you want to go and look at exactly what this, but for time's sake, I'll get through the pictures and kind of just announce a few of the things. But our Louis Leinhardt Award is like our premier athletic award for 4 years encompassing. So Dom DeFrancisco was our football and track athlete that was nominated and given that award. And then, of course, Abby Berman was given it for on the female side in the Louis Leinhardt for 4 years. As well. She also got the Jerry Shearer Award, which is given to the most varsity letters over 4 years. These two are our senior male athletes, so Austin Ireland and Connor Abbott. Our female awards, looks like we don't have a picture of them, but Chloe Betts and Chloe Cooper were our senior females award winners. Abby also had 3 scholarships that she received. So the Sunglow Heating and Cooling, which is our Athlete of the Year, our Weston Volleyball Scholarship, and then also our Bresco Family Scholarship for 4 years of contributions. These two gentlemen were our Weston Football Scholarship winners, Elliot Coyle and Dominic DeFrancisco. Our Coach of the Year was Sue Doan. She took our women's volleyball team to the playoffs, and also our boys team that won state. She was voted on. These awards are all voted on, by the way, by our coaches of the high school. Just so you guys know. Our Citizens of the Year, Terrell Hoffman and Tyra Baird. These are 3 of our foreign exchange students that are voted on for their athletic contributions. Antonio Corneli, Eustace Pfeiffer, and Nor Schockert. Gordy Schuler Award, given for excellence in character. That was Elliot Coyle and Denise Hicks. And then our service award for excellence in service and community pride, Jaden Porton and Lorian Nichols. And our last slide was this, and I just want to share this. This was on Monday night. We did a kind of a coaches professional development night as an Estacada program. We covered a various, bunch of topics, and we had a mix of head coaches and head middle school coaches, assistant coaches, youth coaches. All in all, we had about 45 coaches that attended that are all, coaching Estacada sports and activities. And it was an awesome chance for us to kind of sit down for a couple hours. We served dinner and were able to talk in table groups and discuss various topics and things and just kind of reflect on last year and get ready for the next year as we head into that. And a couple of stats for you for athletics there. We had 376 kids that competed in athletics this year at the high school, which was 74% of the student body did at least one sport. We had 16 different athletic programs that kids could do. We had 2 coaches of the year, Tri-Valley Coach of the Year, 1 state and regional coach of the year. We had 2 teams win Tri-Valley League championships, 2 individual state championships, 1 team state championship, 5 different programs competed at state, and then 9 different kids that got all state honors. So good year overall, and we're gearing up and getting ready for next year already.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
thanks. I know that was a long presentation, but I appreciate you guys listening to me and
It was a great one.
coming to
Thank
share
you.
that with you.
Yeah.
So any questions?
Not a question, but again, as you highlighted at the beginning, right, with all of these new sports that are coming into play, that's an incredible amount of work to get off the ground and find coaches and then balance in between, right? So if you've got, especially in spring, if you've got girls flag football, some of those players also play softball, and so trying to mitigate that can be difficult. So we appreciate all the work that you guys do to.
Absolutely.
do that.
Well, and thank the district for you guys for supporting those programs. I know not everybody says yes and allows those things to happen, but it is really cool that our kids have the opportunity to do that. And that's definitely a question that came up with our coaches, is figuring out those balances for kids when it's in a small school, for
What's
sure.
the chances of getting another state in football?
It's
Talk to you after the
I'm
meeting.
it's on
sorry,
my
I had
mind.
to
No. Stay tuned.
All right.
But no, I honestly though, with our commitment to facilities and just our programs and things, I really like the future in all of our athletic programs. Like I'm really excited and a very good group of coaches, and we have some new ones coming in next year too, and some good assistants and things. I'm excited about the future.
I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you guys.
thanks, Andy, appreciate it.
All right, moving along here, we are into discussion. We have none.
Well, I kind of have one
That was a trick question.
that I missed in my board report, so if I could take this time now, if everybody's okay with it, but, so historically, for the last number of years, we, as a board, we've taken a recess in the month of July, and not held a board meeting in July, so I just wanted to double check and make sure we are still planning to do that this year. So I just want to make sure there's nothing super urgent that we have to make sure we get done, so,
We're ready for that same tradition.
okay.
Yep.
And it is important trying to, as we volunteer and work and, we have families and vacations and stuff that we need to do as well. So we appreciate the community supporting that. So we will not have a July board meeting, for anybody listening out there. That will also push typically, board, officer elections were held in July, and we just push those to August. And there's no issues compliance-wise or anything with that. So just for anybody that follows the cadence, that'll happen in August. So,
Thank you, thanks, Chair, for bringing those up. Any other discussion or conversation around those?
I'll thank the community in Zone 5 for re-electing me real quick.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, if anyone's actually watching.
There are people watching.
And then I'm
And me
gonna
too.
quote something I heard today. Alice Ambresco stated that students today received almost $1 million worth of scholarships, grants, Oregon Promise, private donations for that group of kids that's graduating. And I never would have guessed that.
That's a big number.
That's significant. So,
Yeah.
great job to our community.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a minute to congratulate the Rydell family, the Berman family, and the Carpenter family for having kids on that list of Andy Mott's athletes and activities group. So, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other names, familiar names on there, so. Good job, everybody. Moving on to hearings of citizens action.
We have none.
Oh, come on, let's go.
Two employees, that's all we got here. So I'd like to think they wouldn't sign up for it. Well, we got, yeah, but they're working.
All right, the consent agenda includes a package of one or more items to be voted on as unit. However, if any board member is not in favor of any item, of one or more agenda items and prefers to take separate action, a request to the chair anytime prior to the vote will remove that item or items. Anything? No conflict? Okay, let's go. Consent agenda.
Chair Wheeler, I move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We got a motion and a second from Director Walper. Discussion on this? All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
Item J, be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the SK School District hereby authorize the budget transfer in general fund to accommodate expenditures.
Chair Wheeler, I move to authorize a budget transfer in the general funds to accommodate expenditures as presented.
Thank you for that.
Second.
Motion from Director Wohlmeyer. Any discussion on this?
I know it's probably in the backup, but can we say the number out loud? Just how much we're transferring?
Yes. there's several.
But it should be just on this highlight.
should
I don't,
be.
my access is not working for me, so, but it should be the totals on this, right?
Not on that. It
Not
should-
on
It's
that.
in the board, it's in the board.
Yeah, it's on the resolution.
We just don't have it on top of our heads. We don't wanna say the wrong number.
Do you want me to
Yeah, go
talk
ahead.
the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, so, we are moving, from the 1,000 fund instruction, we're moving $675,000 to the revised budget total of $26,758,000, or $758,544. The 2,000, we are, lowering by, $1,245,100.
So yes, the transfer will be the 1,245,000. That's the number, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be the number from the 2,000, our support services, to our 1,000 instruction, and then to our transfers.
Thank you, I just wanted to get it
Yeah,
out there.
thanks,
Okay.
Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Do I need to go into, interfund?
No.
Okay. We okay? Okay. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
Okay. Moving on, item K, be it resolved that the Board of Directors, Cascade School District hereby adopts a budget for fiscal year 25-26 in the sum of $69,562,222.74, now on file in the Estacada School District office.
Chair Wheeler, I move to adopt the budget for the fiscal year 25-26 in the sum of $69,562,222.74, now on file in the Estacada School District office as presented.
Second.
We got a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on this?
I got a stupid question. Why
No
don't-
such thing, Director Walton.
Why don't we, go to the higher or the lower dollar? Well, I mean, why do we put in 74 cents?
Cause we wanna
Zero
make sure we
findings.
gotta make sure we maximize all of our citizens' taxpayer money, and it has to equal 0.
Yeah.
Great question, though.
Any other?
I've never seen a budget with pennies in it.
Oh, yeah.
Public funds, baby.
Public, yeah.
All right, thank you, Board of Directors, for taking on the budget, last
Yes.
meeting and, getting us to this point. And, again, the administration and the rest of the staff for getting us here too, so.
And I'd like to thank the budget committee. They're
Yeah.
not here tonight, but, that work from volunteers in the community is integral in getting this budget through. and
Yes.
Making sure that we have community input and feedback on that budget. So as Superintendent Carpenter said earlier, right, it's not just us making those decisions.
That's right.
We want and value, bless you, the input and participation from the community.
And that's nothing to sneeze at.
Let's go.
That's quick.
Come on.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
It must be getting
Motion
late.
carries.
It's early, that's
That's the problem.
it's almost the end of the school year. That's
Yeah,
what
it is, it is.
Item L, be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the Estacada School District hereby imposes taxes provided for the adopted budget. James, you gonna read that?
Chair Wheeler, I move to impose the taxes provided for the adopted budget as presented.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion on this?
Just part of the budget,
Yeah.
so.
And this is something that isn't necessarily set by us. This is something that was adopted back in the, Measure 5, Measure 95 era.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't like this or like this, you can go petition your state legislatures to change this because Lake Oswego has a different one than us, and so does Canby and a few other school districts. They're also higher, so.
Yeah.
Throwing that out there. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item M.
And before we start this one, Chair Wheeler, as per Board Policy BBFA, you need to declare an actual conflict of interest and will not be participating in any motions, voting, or discussion on item M.
Appreciate that.
Chair Wheeler, I would also like to declare an actual conflict of interest per policy BBFA. I will not participate discuss or vote on item M.
Thank you both for that. I'll go back to item M. Can I get a motion?
Chair Wheeler, I can't say your name.
It's okay.
I move to approve the recommended changes to the administrative management and confidential employee memorandums of understanding as presented.
Second.
All right, we got a motion, we got a second. Thanks, Vice Chair and Director Berman. This is fairly common in smaller school districts where we have
Potential.
a potential conflict of interest. For those of you that are listening, BBFA can be found on our website under the policy section. And this is just standard procedure on these.
Yeah.
So, any other discussion needed on this? Okay. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
Perfect. Hearing of citizens for non-action items.
None.
Okay, so we are recessing in July, back at it in August. Any other, well, obviously we got a big week ahead of us still. We have senior lunch tomorrow at 11.
Friday.
Friday at 11.
It's not tomorrow, it's
Wish
Friday.
it was Friday tomorrow.
Yep.
Maybe
Eighth grade,
panic for a second.
eighth grade graduation, fifth grade promotion tomorrow.
Fifth grade promotion.
Somebody take some video of the fifth grade. It's so amazing.
It
and I
is
don't have a
amazing.
fifth grader anymore. It's
Yeah.
like such an amazing
so cute.
experience.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we got a week cut out for us and,
Yep.
we'll see everybody. Is everybody attending high school graduation?
Director Walper has a family obligation.
Okay, we'll miss you.
I got a graduation I'm going to.
Should we leave you an honorary seat?
My daughter's 47 years old, and she's getting a master's degree in clinical psychology
Let's
in
go.
LeGrand.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Harvard of the West, they call that.
That's what they do.
All right, well, let's adjourn this thing. Thanks, everybody.